March 17th, 2025. Daily Bread. Passage, 2 Kings, chapter 2, verse 1 to verse 11. Key verse, 9. Title, Elijah is taken up to heaven. When the Lord was about to take Elijah up to heaven, in a whirlwind, Elijah and Elisha were on their way from Gilgal. Elijah said to Elisha, "Stay here, the Lord has sent me to Bethel." But Elisha said, "As surely as the Lord lives, and as you live, I will not leave you." So they went down to Bethel. The company of the prophets at Bethel came out to Elisha and asked, "Do you know that the Lord is going to take your master from you today?" "Yes, I know," Elisha replied, "so be quiet." Then Elijah said to him, "Stay here, Elisha, the Lord has sent me to Jericho." And he replied, "As surely as the Lord lives, and as you live, I will not leave you." So they went to Jericho. The company of the prophets at Jericho went up to Elisha and asked him, "Do you know that the Lord is going to take your master from you today?" "Yes, I know," he replied, "so be quiet." Then Elijah said to him, "Stay here, the Lord has sent me to the Jordan." And he replied, "As surely as the Lord lives, and as you live, I will not leave you." So the two of them walked on. 50 men from the company of the prophets went and stood at a distance, facing the place where Elijah and Elisha had stopped at the Jordan. Elisha took his cloak, rolled it up, and struck the water with it. The water divided to the right and to the left, and the two of them crossed over on dry ground. When they have crossed, Elijah said to Elisha, "Tell me, what can I do for you before I am taken from you?" "Let me inherit a double portion of your spirit," Elisha replied. "You have asked a difficult thing," Elijah said. "Yet if you see me when I am taken from you, it will be yours. Otherwise it will not." As they were walking along and talking together, suddenly a chariot of fire and horses of fire appeared and separated the two of them. And Elijah went up to heaven in a whirlwind. Daily Bread Message. Elijah faithfully served God in his lifetime. Now the Lord was about to take Elijah up to heaven in a whirlwind. In preparation, the Lord sent Elijah to different places. Each time, Elijah instructed Elisha to stay where he was, while Elijah went as the Lord sent him. Elisha refused. He would not leave Elijah at this time. Elijah had been his master, and he knew the Lord was going to take his master from him on this day. They traveled to Bethel, Jericho, and finally to the Jordan. Elisha would not leave his master. When the time came, there were 50 men accompanying. Elijah struck the waters of the Jordan, and they parted, enabling Elijah and Elisha to cross, just the two of them. There, Elijah asked Elisha what he desired, and Elisha requested something amazing, a double portion of your spirit. Elisha was taken up to heaven, and Elisha was granted what he asked for. He saw in his master the spirit that enabled him to prophesy and to suffer for the sake of the Lord. Elisha offered himself to the Lord with this desire. Prayer. Lord, heal my heart, that I may desire to have your spirit. Help me to serve you and be a spiritual blessing. One word, live with God's spirit, be a blessing.